Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned with us. This conversation is all about leadership and mentorship, and we have joining us on set retired Brigadier General and independent consultant Earl Arthurs, as well as life coach Wayne Moody. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
How are we doing this morning?
Very good. Good to be back in Belize.
Yourself?
I'm present.
You are present. I love that, because living in the moment means that you get to experience in full exactly what is in front of you, correct?
You know, sometimes the past, people are bringing the past, and sometimes people are running ahead of themselves in the future, and they miss the moment. But if I'm in the moment, I can truly be as best as I could in this moment.
How important is good leadership in today's day and age, Mr. Arthurs?
Well, I think that leadership is what will make any country or any organization better. We need to groom our leaders from young, so they have vision and they are able to come up with ideas. I was talking outside about this sarcasm problem we're having, and we're saying that we shouldn't take this as a problem. We should find a solution how we could use it. And the people we need to use are the young people, the brightest people who are going to think outside of the box. So I believe that my leadership upbringing was through the military.
Right.
You know, I've been to Livingston, I've been to Camberley, Sandhurst, Fort Benning, a lot of places that actually teach you to lead soldiers. But what I've done over the years, over the last 21 years, is really to work with civilians in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries, and also the SEDIMA system with 19 different countries, and inspire the young people, the bright young people, for them to lead. You know, and I started this when I was a young policeman in the police special force. I spent my first 5 years in the police special force and 20 in the Belize Defense Force. And from a young age, they send you off to do your potential NCO course, which teach you to be a leader. And as a leader, you're looking after 10 people.
Yeah.
And as you go up through the ranks, they teach you to look after 30 people. And then 100 people. Then 300 people. Then 1,000 people. And by that time, now you are able to think about how you're going to deal with any problems and how to solve different problems.
Now, when it comes to problem solving, Mr. Moody, it can be so challenging as a leader or as just anyone, because when you have a lot of problems stacking up against you, it's hard to look past problems to find solutions. What's your advice?
Well, you know, thinking outside the box is something that is definitely needed if you're going to have any kind of solution. Most people prefer to live in their comfort zone, and growth never occurs in your comfort zone. Even when you go to exercise, if you don't experience resistance, you're not going to grow. But today I can say that there are not many thinkers. Most people are just regurgitating other people's thoughts and not thinking. But you got to think for yourself, honestly. And the thing is, I do believe that in us are the solutions for whatever problems we're faced with. And one of the things that I learned from General is, especially as a manager, when subordinates would come with a problem, let them know that unless they bring at least 2 or 3 solutions, you don't want to hear it. Because they're there to think. They are the ones dealing with what they're dealing with. So as far as thinking is concerned, we do have the capacity to think, because adversities come, and that's what it makes happen. We think. I mean, like, for example, COVID came.
Yeah.
And many people didn't know they could do what they did during COVID, but COVID had to come. And then they think. When COVID came for me, for example, I had just become a life coach. And we went into quarantine. And for me, that was the best thing that happened for me, because I knew that I had to be innovative. And when I was introduced to Zoom, I was scared at first. But a young person walked me through the process, and I started coaching all my clients virtually. But I had to think. You got to think.
Do you think, Mr. Arthurs, that as leaders, we sometimes undervalue or underappreciate the value of thinking sitting down to think, because as leaders, there's so much demands for us to act.
Well, I always explain to young leaders that your tool is not your hands. Your tool is your brain and the people that you have working for you. And one example I'll give you is we had a corporal that was promoted to sergeant, and he was a hard-working guy. That's why he got promoted. He wasn't a very good leader, but he was a hard-working guy. And in those days, they promoted you for hard work, the old British system. And the guy worked for me, and I gave him a task, just back from Sandhurst. And so when I went out there, this guy was working real hard, and the men, they were watching him, because he came from Orange Walk, to chop cane and stuff, and these guys were given cutlasses to cut, and these guys were pretending they're from Belize City and they can't cut. And so he was cutting, chopping, and I called him one side and sat him down and said, Sarge, listen to me good. Your tool is not a machete. Your tool are those 10 men out there. You could show them how to chop in about 2 minutes, and then you watch them chop the rest of the place. Don't chop the whole thing and show them how you could chop it better than them. So that's the way how you deal with leadership. You need to inspire people. You lead by example. Compulsion and persuasion is a combination of things. In the army, if you don't do it, I could punish you. That's the compulsion. If I want you to do it and work as a good team, I could persuade you to do it, and that's the best way. But you also have to show example. If the men are in the water, you can't stand on the dry land and say, right guys, let's go, dig in. You got to get in the water too, so they see that you're in the water with them.
Yeah.
Don't spend all the time in the water, we'll get in the water too. But you are a thinker. You are paid to think and plan and solve problems. Now you asked a question earlier about problem solving. I believe that this is something that is lacking. Children should be learning a lot about problem solving in the schools, You see, when you give all the answers, or you could go and Google and find the answer, that don't help somebody to solve problems. And so when they get there and they don't have any tools that they could use to come up with the answer, they are stuck. They come back to you and say, sir, I can't do it. But problem solving is where you could sit down and you could analyze the problem and you could find innovative ways to solve the problem.
Like what Mr. Moody explained, thinking, spending time to really think about and think for yourself and finding the solutions through thinking. So how are you gentlemen collaborating to bring these ideas in order to elevate the lives of those around us?
Well, it's a domino effect, because although we've not seen each other for over 25 years, we see each other because virtually we meet.
Okay.
And Zoom.
Zoom.
Okay. Correct.
The same Zoom that I was afraid of. But he continues to pour into my life, and then I'm pouring into other people's lives, because I do believe leadership is like a relay. And it's like a relay, and I'm coming with the baton at warp speed, but I'm saying reach, but I expect you to take it and go faster than I'm coming. And any mentor, any leader that doesn't have a vision for those that he's leading to go beyond them, that's not a good leader. It's like a parent. You want your kids to go beyond where you were. None of my parents actually did high school. But I can tell you, my brothers, my nieces, my nephews, they've gone beyond where our parents were. But again, it's realizing that where you are is not necessarily your destination. One of the things that I can say as a leader you can leave is a legacy. And legacy will be there after you're gone. And that's what you do, because when I think of Lottes, even now as I'm doing what I'm doing, because he's my check, he's my balance. Because even coaches need coaches, even mentors need mentors.
Correct.
And the person that is coming is his mentor.
Speak about
this gentleman is my mentor, still my mentor right now, because having been in the military, a lot of time you undersell yourself. You're not aware of your worth. And he was the one who always checked me to tell me, General, you have multi-skills.
Who is that?
Jeremy Collymore. Mr. Jeremy Collymore was the person who brainchild for SEDERA, which was a Caribbean Disaster Emergency Response Agency. and he became the first director of that organization. And then it morphed into the present SEDIMA we have right now, which is a big regional organization, the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency. And he worked that for a few more years, and then he retired, and he became like advisor for University of West Indies for some of the hierarchy, and then now he is the chairman of the Disaster Risk Reduction Center for University of West Indies. So I worked with him when he was the head. Actually, he recruited me from Belize in 2005, and he gave me a 6 months contract in Barbados.
Nice.
And I'm still there.
You're still there 6 months later.
You know, and since I retired, you know, he has roped me in because he wants me and him to work together. You know, he and I are now partners doing consulting work. You know, and he's well known in the region because SEDIMA has now 20-something countries, and in my time it was 16.
So are you all planning to expose Belizeans to his leadership knowledge and skills?
I have invited him to come to Belize. So he's coming for vacation.
Right, that's what I gathered.
And when he come over for vacation, I will try to get him to meet with you guys, go on to Love and things, and so take him to the different universities in Belize. Because the problem is that when I went to SEDIMA, I became the operation and training officer for the organization. And so I had to learn the British, the American, the Australian, the Canadian, all different disaster management systems. And we had to develop one specifically for the Caribbean, because we are different from them with kit equipment, mentality, and even only, I think, Indonesia and those countries around that area that have more disasters than us. We are very disaster prone. And so he was the one that I worked with, you know, and he had a vision. He's a good mentor. He is my mentor because I am a soldier. How I got into disaster management was that I was working as the military advisor and the chief of staff in the Ministry of National Security in 1990 to 1993, December. And George Price went to, the Right Honorable George Price went to a CARICOM meeting in 1990, and they said they would start this CEDERA. And he came to me and he said, oh, by the way, you are going to be my point man for CEDERA. So I said, what's that? And he explained to me. He said they deal with disasters and things, and they want to do it for the region. I said, but sir, I know nothing about disaster. He said, you know about war? I said, yes, sir. He said, you study for war? I said, yes, sir. He said, war is the biggest disaster. And that's how I became the point man. So from 1990, I met this man, Jeremy Collymore, before there was anything, and we started to brainstorm. Then I became a member of the board of directors until 1994. And then I went over to take over the army in 1994.
One of the things I'm taking away from this conversation is the importance of mentorship.
Yes.
And the fact that...
And the levels.
Yes, and the levels, and that you're never too young or too old.
That's right.
To have a mentor, because
That's
you
right.
reach a certain age and some people feel like, well, I don't know it all, man.
No.
But for you to say you have a mentor, for Mr. Moody to say...
And I'm his
you're
mentor.
his mentor.
Yeah.
It shows that
Different
mentorships
levels.
Is super important in
Different
life.
levels.
Now I have to ask for those interested in tapping into your particular set of skills, how do they reach out to you, Mr. Moody, Mr. Arters?
Well, right now, I think most people know I'm back home and I'm home for good.
You are.
This is my
you
last
mentor a lot
stop.
of people I know as well.
I mean, I can list the people that I've mentored, from people like the Minister of Tourism to Charlie Slusher, football, these students that I taught. Even the students that I'm currently working with at the Anglican Cathedral College, and again, people that I'm coaching in Belize. So Wayne, Life Coaching Limited is my company. I also provide services that is pro bono, because I teach and I coach not so much to be paid, but I teach and I coach so I'm paid. Like I go to the students today at ACC, first and second farmers, and then third and fourth farmers on Thursday, and you can reach me at 656-0501 WhatsApp, and I have an open door. But I say there are two things with what I do. I don't work with no, and once I work with you and I coach you, I'm your coach for life. That's my disclaimer. I don't work with no, because if you say no, I just know I'm not working with you.
Correct.
But if I'm working with you, I'll be with you forever. And along that line, I tell you, my first client is Dr. Highshaw. He's in California. He's now the head of the Social Work Association in California and Hawaii. He's coming to Belize later this year. And I would like to connect him with, let's say, social workers in Belize.
Right.
I mean, the areas of coaching that I've done vary, whether it be entrepreneurs, retirees, because we all have purpose. And as long as we're here, we need to coach and we need to be coached. So,
Gentlemen, we are out of time for this conversation, and so I want to thank you both so much. Can we get your contact in case people want to tap into your skills?
Well, I am on Facebook. Earl Arthurs, and also I have my WhatsApp. It's Barbados number 246-250-9322.
Nice.
Yeah, and but you contact Mr. Moody.
Yeah, and he will get you
contact Mr.
connected.
Nuri Mohammed. You what happened is I maintain contact. Then I have a brother, Lieutenant Colonel Arthurs.
Okay.
He's a pastor. He and his wife, and they also, and then have a brother, George Arthurs in Belmopan that I stay with sometime. He will get it to me, and then Silburn Arthurs,
Yeah, that's
my next brother. Yeah,
Mr. Silburn is your brother.
Yes,
That's my good
and
friend.
they are my link back to Belize, and I try to come back. I just want one thing before I go off. I work closely with Nemo.
I would
Captain
imagine so.
Daniel Mendes.
Mendes.
Right now, working with Sedima and the University of the West Indies. Over the last 2 years, we are working on their work plan, the country work program, which is a 5-year work program. And he's doing a good job. I've actually sat down with him and his team and, talked to them about the early days of our of Nemo and, and what Sedima does for Nemo and so. But he's doing a good job. I have been here in 2024 for 2 weeks with him, and I came back again in 25 for a few days. So my connection with Nemo is still there. I started Nemo in 1999.
Wow.
And I'm still interested. I mean, they still have some of the things that I put there in 99 going.
That's still existing.
Like the logo and things like that.
Yes.
Still.
All right, maybe it's time for some revamping, right?
Yes, man.
All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you both so much for joining me.
was
It's
my
been a
pleasure.
pleasure to be in your presence. I truly appreciate it.
Yes.
All right, so with that, we're going to take another break. And when we come back, we have one final conversation. So don't go anywhere, and then we'll wrap this show up. Stay tuned.